Welcome to Practical Business Technology, where we keep you in the know about technology's impact on business. Today's show is sponsored by the Maricopa County Bar Association, and our host is Dave Kinsey, author and owner of Total Networks. Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Dave.
And today we're going to talk about ways to get found on Google, or ways to improve being found on Google.
Yep, it's an important topic to, every business. Every business wants to be found. Every business wants more business. And so, Total Networks, our business, with something we care about. I found myself talking with more of my clients and some other people that have kind of also approached me on a number of topics. And so this seemed like a good thing to talk about.
So one of the first things that we suggest looking at is your Google My Business page.
Correct.
So number one, do you have a Google My Business page?
You probably do, but I think the bigger question is, have you claimed it? So that's just so people know what Google My Business is. When you search the name of your business, or say you search a restaurant.
In Google.
If you Google the name of a restaurant and it has the location of where it is and information about it, Google has a record called Google My Business where it has that information. It has the name of the business, the phone number, the hours of operation when it's open, and a whole wealth of information. And so that's one of the first things is, number one, claim your records. Some people, it's fairly straightforward to do.
How do you know if you've claimed it or not?
If you're not familiar with it, you probably haven't. You have to go through a process to claim it. But if you see your Google My Business, if you've claimed it, you have the ability to click on it and you can go in and edit if you go into Google My Business. So, yeah.
Well, you can edit it if you are an authorized person. I guess I'm asking, maybe you're at a really big company and you don't know if anyone there has claimed it.
Sure.
Does Google tell you this hasn't been claimed, or you just need to find out from the upper management?
There are ways to go about getting access to the record. I've had to do this before where, where say another marketing company perhaps claimed it that's no longer working with it. So that's one of the issues is making sure you have access to that. And yes, you can control, and multiple people can have access to it. There's a way to delegate access.
Okay, so now you've got your listing, you've claimed it.
Then you want to go through and fill out all the information.
Make sure all the information there is correct.
Correct.
You might ask your business hours or your address. So if you've moved, make sure you have it updated.
Yeah, basically you look at it. There are a lot of fields. I recommend you fill it all out. And when you fill it all out, one of the things that you want to do is make sure that the information you put on that Google My Business record is consistent with your website. Basically, Google. When you do a Google search, how does Google figure out how to show whatever whatever information it shows? Well, there's just a lot of data points. And one of the main data points is the Google My Business record. It's, why don't you tell me, what about your business there? And it's like you've given a place for people to basically tell about the business. But now if you put information in there and it matches the information you have on the website, that's great. That's a very good, powerful signal, reinforcing signal to Google that you are who you say you are, and your business does what you say you do, and all that. So there's more than just that, but that's more, which we'll talk about. But that's one of the more fundamental things.
Okay.
So there's a lot of information on there. There's a lot of fields.
So I know when I Google stuff and I see a listing for a company, and especially you'll notice this if you look at it in maps, is that you're often going to look at who has the best reviews.
Absolutely.
So reviews in Google are tied to your Google My Business
Correct.
listing. And so you ought to, one, read all the reviews, make sure you've got some that you've responded to them all.
Yeah, and Google makes it actually fairly simple. When you log in, it gives you the ability to see at a glance which are all the reviews you've responded to versus not. And you can go, the idea is you should every review deserves a response.
A professional response.
A professional response, yeah. So it's very easy to say, if somebody gave you a 5-star review, you can say thanks. Thank you very much, and whatnot. And, less is more generally in all these things. Then the issue is what happens when you get the 1-star review.
Yeah, what do you do?
Well, first, I recommend you do nothing. You sleep on it.
Just like don't send an email that is all angry without sleeping on it.
Yeah. Then tomorrow, or it depends. I mean, I'm being a little bit silly there, but but to make a point, you want to be very thoughtful about that.
Yes, be respectful of the other person's low score.
Correct. So, fortunately, knock on wood, I don't think I've ever gotten a 1-star review, but I have gotten a 3. And there was an issue, and I talked with the person and was able to resolve it. And they updated us, gave us a 5-star review. Okay, so that's like perfect, way to handle that if you can. Now, that's not always practical. You may not be able to do that.
You might not even know who the person is.
You may not even know who it is. But if you can like basically listen, say, hey, there's something valid here and I can do something about it, and then maybe they give you update it and give you a 5-star review, great. But regardless, say they hate your guts for something, something happened, and they're going to hate your guts for whatever. But be respectful and say, I'm sorry that you whatever, and we strive to do the best service. If there's anything you would like to discuss, please feel free to reach us. Something like that.
Or, it could be this person was trying to purchase something we don't sell. We're sorry, we weren't a fit.
Yeah, or one thing, I had a bot one time respond, and I don't know what star they gave us. It was a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know what it was. All I know is it looked like it was a bunch of gibberish. And on that one, I actually appealed it to Google and said, look, this is a bot. This is not a real thing. It's like it gives you options to do it. And they removed it in like 2 days. Don't expect Google to do anything about your reviews there. But if it's something that's truly automated, like bot type thing, I've had success with that.
Okay. So what if you don't have any Google reviews?
Get some. Solicit some.
Just ask, right?
Yeah, you can ask.
Ask your best clients. Ask your friends.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend that.
Because, I know if I'm going to go to a restaurant and I see one that's got 1,000 reviews and a high rating, another one that's got 2 reviews and a low rating, it's pretty easy for me to pick which restaurant to go to. So same thing with your business. Respond
to each one. Solicit them and. Those are good suggestions.
Okay, great. So our Google My Business page is all great. Our listing is clean. We've got all complete information. We've got some really stellar reviews. The next thing is look at your website.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the next thing to do, would be to look at your website. It needs updating from time to time. Have a friend, have somebody else, look at it with some fresh eyes.
Review it not just on your computer, but look at it on a phone.
Yeah, look at it on your phone, look at
Does it say the information you want? Does it explain who you are? When I go to your website, can I tell right away what do you do?
Exactly. Yeah. Why would I work with you instead of someone else? And since you've just gone and updated your Google My Business, is there anything that you've thought about from that I really should update that on the website? Because once again, keep it consistent.
Keep it consistent. You normally want to be real clear on what you do and how to contact you. Mm-hmm. If you have a call to action, it needs to be clear.
Yeah.
Phone number, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So.
So that's important.
And these things, both of these that we've just talked about, are not just do it once and you're done.
No.
You need to revisit it every so often because
put a time in your calendar twice a year at least or something,
right.
To look at it. So.
And if it's appropriate, you might want to think about blogging, doing some original content that is something you wrote that helps explain a little bit more about your business.
Yep. And you can podcast too.
And you can do a podcast.
So actually, we did a podcast
okay,
about.
So those are all probably, maybe things you've thought about, but one thing you maybe haven't thought about is backlinks.
Yep. And I hadn't really thought about that as much either. I mean, I've thought about getting backlinks. I recently made an investment in a subscription, and once again, there's a number of them out there of different tools that will actually kind of look at what's going on with your ranking and your things like backlinks. It's one of the many factors.
And I guess, Dave, why don't we just make sure everyone knows what is a backlink?
A backlink is another site that is linking to your site.
So it's another website that has a link to you.
Correct. So, and this actually,
So anybody can do this. You don't have to give permission for someone to have something that links to your website.
Correct. You will probably naturally get certain backlinks. Certain backlinks you'll get kind of by you have a Facebook page and you link your Facebook page to your web page, and your LinkedIn and you link that, and so those are examples of some very basic links. But then say you work with some other organization and they put a blog post on there and they link to you, or you have an article in a news article that references your business and points to you,
or you're in a news story, or
Yeah.
Those are all really good examples of good backlinks.
Yeah. Or there's listing sites and review sites and things like that. There's a number of different ways to do that.
Are there any backlinks that we don't want?
Yeah, that was actually the surprise to me. And part of what I think prompted us sort of talking a little bit about this. I've been getting more people asking me about different things with their online presence, and been helping people with reviews and whatnot. But one of the things I noticed on my site, and I've also noticed on a couple other sites, is you can get these negative backlinks, these spammy backlinks because once again, anyone can point to you, and you can end up with just goofy backlinks from Russia, in Russian, and some stuff about Viagra and casinos and stuff like that were pointing to our site.
And obviously, that's not relevant.
That's not relevant. It's not good.
So what do you do about that? They have a website and they've put a link to your site. How do you control that?
Yeah, it's very frustrating and very weird, because I had no idea that it was even out there until I spent some money on a tool. Google has a thing called disavow links. So once again, this is through Google Search Console, which is another of Google's sites that use to manage your online presence, and you can tell it, I don't know where this link came from, please ignore it. Supposedly Google doesn't penalize you, or there's different information about this, but in my experience, we were getting penalized. Because once we started disavowing the links, we started seeing improvements in our ranking. So
you mean penalized? We weren't showing up as high when someone Google searched for things that were relevant to us. We might not have been shown as high after we disavowed a lot of these Russian and
it helped.
Crazy bad backlinks. It did improve.
I was looking at a whole lot of other things besides that, so it's hard to say there wasn't just one thing that it was doing.
But it certainly can't hurt to tell Google, I am not a site that has anything to do with Viagra.
Yeah.
Please.
Or casinos or
about.
Or whatever.
I sell IT services, or I'm a law firm. So, because part of it is you don't want Google to think that that's what you do.
Well, that, and just it pollutes your good links, a little bit. So
now, the best links you can have are from a really, really good, reputable.
Yeah, there's things called domain authorities and whatnot that that you can see through these tools that sort of give you some information.
So you might want to either, if you've hired a marketing company, make sure they're doing this, or you can do it yourself. Get an online tool that can help you manage this, and you'll have to do it from time to time. Yeah.
So anyway, this kind of opened my eyes, in that that there were these negative links out there, and once again, there are good links, and you want you want to keep getting more good links.
Well, and the advantage of some of these tools, besides the backlinks, is it'll show you what pages do people visit the most, or what are topics that maybe you could put more content on.
Yeah, it'll show you what you're being found for, and then you can also say, I want to be found for these keywords, and how am I doing? And how am I doing over time, and am I getting better or worse, and things like that. So there's definitely some useful. There are ways to make this stuff work. So and then the last thing, I think we said this was going to be 4 things,
Four
right?
ways.
Was it 4 ways? Okay, so we had 3. We had
So
Google
number
My
one is
Business,
Google My Business.
website, and then backlinks.
And number 4.
Number 4 is Google Ads. And I have it listed last for a reason. I think you want to do the other 3 things first. You know, I mean, you want to do, I think all of them help. You want to make sure you have a good listing. Make sure you have a good website. Make sure your backlinks are good. And then you can boost it with ads.
But if you do the ads first before that other stuff,
it'll still help.
It'll help, but it's not going to be all tied together.
It's better. It's better. It's unique. It's really doing all 4 of them. It really help. And one of the things that when you do your Google ads, you want to have them targeted and focused and all that. And when your ranking is higher, the amount that the bang for your buck for the different keywords, you get a lot more bang for your buck. Basically, if you're already ranking high and then you go and do some ads on top of it, you get better treatment. Basically, better bang for your buck. You see more ads, more where you want them. You pay less per click, things like that. They have a thing called a quality score.
So we've been talking about Google. There are other search engines.
There are, like Bing is is Microsoft's one. It's
so does Bing have a listing, or do they kind of pull from Google?
It does. So a lot of the same stuff applies. So there's the Bing listing for your business. So you want to make sure you have that updated as well. You do have Bing ads as well, and then the backlinks and your website, that basically applies either way.
Right.
So yeah. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
And I know this is a lot. So if you have questions, please feel free to give us a call.
Yeah, I'm happy
to help. If you want us to just kind of give a quick overview of what we think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Anything else, Steve?
Well, just one more thing on the reviews. We really do focus on that. I think that's something that is overlooked by a lot of businesses. I've definitely seen people not handle the negative reviews, right? But I also just see a lot of people that just don't have very many reviews out there. It's not the easiest thing to get the reviews, but it's not as hard as a lot of people think either to help sort of encourage some reviews. Some of it will happen naturally, but it really does help to sort of do some reaching out to help encourage people to review your business.
Yeah, I mean, we've had really good success with Google reviews, but not just with Google. There's other sites.
There's other sites as well where we've gotten reviews as well, like Clutch and there's a number of them out there. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck, everybody.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks.
you.